Hey everybody, my name is Christin Grissom and I'm the Director of Scholarships with Phi Theta Kappa. I'm so excited to have the opportunity to talk to you about a subject that's very near and dear to our hearts at Phi Theta Kappa is really helping you to succeed. So one of the topics we wanted to talk to you about is something very important. It's something about helping you to transfer successfully and help you find schools that are a good fit for you. And I know that's such a daunting task. It's something so confusing, but I hope that we've got some resources for you today to help demystify the search process, to break this up and make it a little bit easier for you, and to help you to set some realistic goals. So we've broken this out into three different areas. So, of course, to help you find schools that are within reach, those that are a target school, and those that are likely schools for you. So we've got a cool infographic here for you. You'll also be able to download this in the curriculum as well for Phi Theta Kappa students. So if you'll check this out, we'll walk through what reach, target, and likely colleges are and what those really mean. So we'll get started in just a second, and I want to walk you through this infographic. And of course, no two schools are alike, and neither are you. So that's the beauty in this whole college process, is that you can find the best school for you, but it's good that you're doing the research that it takes to help you find that school that will be the place that you'll call home next. So it's very important when you are comparing colleges to really get the facts straight. And so when you're getting your search on, if you will, you're really looking out to see what schools are a good fit for you and how do you categorize that in your mind. So we've got some great options for you, and I want to walk you through some things that are very important. So again, this resource that you'll see will be downloadable for you in the curriculum. But choosing a college certainly isn't just about asking yourself where you want to go to school. Sure, in movies and on TV, students have that one dream college in mind, and that's a really great thing. But how can you make sure that your college application process really ends up with a happy ending and one that you're incredibly pleased with if you don't get into that college that you've dreamt about forever? So, but first, I wanted to share some fun college application facts with you. About one third of all students apply to seven or more schools. That's like a whoa moment, right? But if you're really looking at what kind of research and what kind of information you need, the College Board really recommends that students are applying to at least 4 to 8 schools when you're really trying to find out which one is the best fit for you. So check out admissions rates for the schools that you're considering on either the school's website. You can also check out information on PTK Connect. It's our new tool to help you really help find schools and compare colleges, but also you can use the College Board's tool as well called Big Future. So you can see a lot of acceptance rates information that's out there to really help you to make a quick and easy decision when it comes to comparing schools. So there's a ton of research and a ton of information out there for you, but you really want to pay attention to what is there for transfer students and not just students as a whole. But however, many schools that you apply to, the most important thing really is to apply for a range of schools, right? So we've broken this down, as you see on the infographic, in terms of reach, target, and safety schools. And we're going to walk through what that means today, but just really consider applying to at least 2 schools in each of those categories: reach, target, and safety schools. Applying to a range of these schools will help you to set ambitious goals and give yourself some backup options where you can know where you'll be happy and you'll be successful too. That's a very important thing, right? We want to see you through to graduation, and we want to reduce the time it takes for you to get through to graduation and completion. And that will only happen if you're really finding a school that's a good fit for you, that you can succeed academically as well as socially, and minimize some of that social shock when you do get ready to transfer as well. So I know another thing that you're probably thinking about is the cost of applying to all these schools, right? And this is one thing I really want to work with you on, is to really help you to gain that confidence in yourself, to be able to sell yourself well, and to really ask. That's by far the biggest thing that I think that students struggle with, is just not asking. And when I say ask, I'm meaning ask for application waivers. You never know unless you ask. There's so many schools who are willing to waive the application fee if you'll just ask. So be willing to put yourself out there and ask that tough question. I know that's not easy or fun for a lot of people, but just do it. You never know when you may get that fee waived, and you'll have some extra cash in your pocket to do some things that you want to do on the side too. But you may be really wondering what REACH, target, and safety schools are. So let's jump right in. The REACH schools are really a cool thing. If getting in and paying for college wasn't an issue, where in the world would you want to go? So dream big. Think about this. A REACH school is a school where your academic credentials fall into the lower end, or even below the school's average range for the students who were accepted this past year. So REACH schools are typically dream schools, those schools that typically have highly selective admissions processes. And a REACH school is any school that could be super selective. They may have admissions rates that are at or below 20%, and they require an academic profile that's a little higher than maybe what you've got. But it's good to dream, and it's really good to think about schools and what are those that you want to reach and those that you want to aspire to. So there's certainly hope that you'll get in, especially if you have a really awesome essay and an impressive resume, and certainly a strong application for admission. And so there's nothing wrong with playing the REACH field here. Just make sure that you've got a range of safety and target schools as a backup, just in case you don't get accepted to that school. And certainly don't let the sticker price of that financial REACH school scare you off. Financial need and academic strength, and a college's desire to really have you on campus can all influence your financial aid award and the cost of attendance to make attending that REACH school more attainable. So next topic, I want to talk to you a little bit about what a target school is as well. So target schools are those where your academic credentials, so things like your grades, your SAT, your ACT scores, or your class rank, anything like that, all well within the school's average range for the most recently accepted class of students that came into that school. There's certainly no guarantees that you'll get into this school, but it's not unreasonable to expect to be accepted to several of your target schools. One caveat though, schools with low admissions rates, so those that about 20% or below, aren't target schools even if your academic profile matches with that school. When the admissions rate is really that low, getting in is a gamble no matter which way you look at it or how strong your academic profile might be. So when choosing colleges to apply to, try to think of at least 2 or 3 target schools that you're really interested in. With a great application, you really do stand a great chance of getting into all of your target schools, but applying to several of them really helps to increase your odds of having a range of options to choose from, and ranges are good, right? I certainly do think that the best way to really think about a target school in your mind is really that you may think you have a 50-50 shot at getting admitted to this school, as you can see on the infographic here too. So remember that the acceptance rates for your target schools are typically those that accept about 30 to 60% of the applicants that are applying for the school. So really in this area, think about your grades and your test scores really meet the academic profile of the students that they've accepted. So I also wanted to talk to you a little bit about likely schools as well. So that while they may not be as fun to talk about, likely schools are really those schools that you can really dream about too. They're still equally as important as your REACH schools or your target schools. So really think about these schools as the simplest definition of this kind of school is where you're almost definitely going to get in. This kind of school is certainly a likely school is one that you can dream and you can target those schools, but they should also be really schools that you think you would be very happy to attend, just like the other categories that we've talked about. Because these likely schools are easier to get into, people tend to think that they're bad schools, and that's absolutely not true. There are certainly plenty of colleges to choose from that have a relatively high admissions rate, but still have really good reputations. For example, let's use our engineering students as an example. Virginia Tech is a top-rated engineering school with a 71% acceptance rate. So they certainly fall into this category that we're talking about with likely schools. Auburn University is one of the top colleges in the Southeast that has an acceptance rate of 81%, and Purdue ranks in the 50th percentile nationwide, and it has a 56% admission rate. So really look at those admissions rates to help you to classify what category these schools need to fall into when you're considering school options. It's also really a good idea to think about financial aid when creating your list of likely schools, to make sure that there are at least one school on that list that you know that you can afford to attend on this list. Okay, so you'll want to keep into consideration, does that school offer your major? You definitely want to keep in mind also that financial aspect too when you're making your list and choices. But really, when you're looking to categorize any of these schools, look for colleges that share traits with your reach schools. So for example, maybe your dream is to go to Columbia University. Consider some other colleges in the New York City area, such as NYU or Rutgers. You'd still experience the living and that lifestyle of studying in New York City. Super exciting, right? At a college, but in New York, but maybe that's one that's a little bit easier to get into. So think about things like that when you're really classifying the types of schools that you're interested in, as well as that experience, whether that be academically or socially in different environments too, as well as culturally and those things that are around you. So, or again, another example, giving for our engineering students, if your dream is to study at MIT, consider some other highly regarded engineering schools like Virginia Tech or Purdue when you're making your lists too, just to really cover your bases and make sure that you are setting measurable and achievable goals for yourself, and you're helping to secure some options, some college options for yourself. So really, to ensure that you're choosing college, that your college experience ends in a happy way, apply to at least 2 of these likely schools. This way, you'll have options in case you aren't accepted to the colleges that you'd rather attend. And really, like we said before, options are a good thing. Students who really thoughtfully curate a balanced list of schools tend to be those students with a less stressful application process than those who apply to more schools. And as you see on our infographic too, really there's a lot of challenges that you can get into, but we've got a lot of tips on this infographic to really help you out with this. And we certainly hope that you'll see a lot of good advice on here to help you navigate this experience too. So we want you to be happy. We want you to find a school that you're super excited about, but also to have plenty of options that are well within your admission and financial reach. And we want you to feel more in control of your college outcomes, right? Where you'll attend, because we don't want you to be at the mercy of waiting on an admissions decision from a long list of highly selective schools and not have other options to pursue. So really consider using PTK Connect to help you compare colleges by cost and admissions criteria, as well as transfer friendliness and many more criteria. But click the PTK Connect link on our homepage at ptk.org. And also another helpful resource is the Jack Kent Cook Transfer College Research Worksheet, as well as their Creating Your College Transfer List. So these are really 2 cool grids that you can use, that you don't have to recreate the wheel. Just insert the information into those categories to help you actively compare schools side by side to help you make this decision a little bit easier. So if you're interested in those resources from Jack Kent Cook, you can certainly go to jkcf.org and click Undergraduate Transfer Scholarship to view these resources. So these are downloadable documents you can download on the fly and really start comparing schools right away. So we hope this information was really helpful for you. If there's any time we can help you at Phi Theta Kappa, certainly give us a call anytime. We're here to support you and really want to help you succeed.